All right, as promised, we're going to go over the review together. Okay, this is the Unit 2 review. Here we go. Okay, first of all, that is not page 71. It's page 73. Use the associative property to add. Okay, so all you guys need to know is you're allowed to add in any order. So the author of the book put two wonderful numbers together that add up to a very nice 7, right? Because 7/10 and 3/10 make 10/10, which is a whole. So 5 wholes plus 1 whole plus 1 whole is 7. And then you're going to add 7 to 2.57. Okay, so the reason that we can change the order is to make it easy math. 7 plus 2.57 is 9.57 because then you just have to add the wholes together. Same idea using the associative property. Using the associative property, add these up. Okay, so we're allowed to add in any order. It's telling us we're supposed to add these first, but in addition, the order doesn't matter. So what the author wants us to know is if you put these two together first, you get a beautiful 11, right? It's like having 75 cents and 25 cents. It makes another $1. 7 plus 3 plus 1 is 11. And then we still have to add this disgusting one. But 11 plus a disgusting 4.89 makes a 15 and 8,900. Okay? This one, it just says, hey, here's an 8. In this number, it's 4 and 381 thousandths. Can you just choose the ones that have an 8 that's 10 times bigger? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the idea here is they want you guys to understand that when an 8 is 10 times, when any number is 10 times bigger, it literally just moves one place over. When anything moves one place over, it's 10 times bigger. So 10 times bigger because it's 8/10 instead of 8/100, 8/10 instead of 8/100, and all the other ones have an 8 in a different place. So those are your only two answers. Here, I'm not a big, huge fan of this one, but what they basically want you to do is they want you to look at the 2, right? And right now it's in the hundredths place. So you still need 98 more hundredths to make a whole. But they want you to make a new number where the 2 is a 10th of that value. Well, 1/10 of that value is a fancy way to say 10 times smaller. So if the 2 is 10 times smaller, it's no longer 200ths, but it's 2,000ths. Okay? So you want to choose the one that's 2,000ths, or not choose it, but make a number that has 2 in the thousandths place. Here's my example. There's a 2 in the thousandths place. Here's a number. They want you to expand it out. And all that means is look at each digit, right? Like a 2 is a digit, a 4 is a digit, a 7 is a digit. Look at each digit and just tell me what that digit stands for. That's not a 2, it's a 200, right? It's not a 4, it's a 40. It's not a 7, yeah, it is. And then after the decimal saying these are smaller than 1. The 9 is 9/10. There's nothing in the hundredths place, and the 3 is 3,000ths. So that is expanding it out, right? And if we had it in expanded form and turned it into a standard form, it would look like this guy up here. Number 6, let's write down 17,000 and. Remember what I tell you guys, when you see and, look at it like a halftime, take a break. So just write down 17,000 first. When you're done writing down 17,000, then write down the next part. Make it say 106 thousandths. Well, luckily, 0.106 is 106 thousandths. So that's your answer. 17,000 and 106 thousandths. 9.57 in word form. Well, How would you say that? You'd say 9 and, because once again, you stop at the decimal. You just call it and. It's separating the whole and the not a whole. 9 and 57 hundredths. Here it's saying, okay, this guy got real confused when he turned it into expanded form, but this expanded form is a little bit different. Instead of just telling me what each one is worth, just multiply it by its place value. Okay, so you're gonna, this is expanded form using place value. So the 8 is an 80, so it's in the tenths place. So it's 10 times 10, tens place, not tenths place. The 1 is in the ones place, so 1 times 1. The 4 is in the tenths place, so it's 4 times a tenth. The 2 is in the thousandths place, so it's 2 times a thousandths. Number 9, they have expanded form like that. They want you to turn it into standard form, which is a fancy schmancy way of saying normal number form. The 200, so there's 2 in the hundreds place, 9 in the ones place, 7 in the tenths place, and 8 in the thousandths place. In order to make that work, you're going to have to add a couple zeros. And there's your answer. And which number is the value of just the 5? So where is the 5 worth the most? Well, the 5 here is worth 5 wholes. The 5 here is worth a little 5 tenths. So the answer is going to be 25 because it's 5 wholes. Okay? And then select the number that shows the digit 4 with the value of 4 hundredths. Well, this one has 4 in the thousandths place. This one's 4D, 4 in the tens place. That's 4 in the ones place, but over here you got a sneaky 4 in the hundreds place, so that one works. And then after that you have a 4 in the hundreds place over here, so that one works. And then over that you got 4 in the tenths place, that does not work. 4 in the hundreds place, that one works. All right, so all right, let's move on. We are going to compare these different amounts. We have 113 over here. And then we only have 2 over here. Because remember, that decimal stops the whole number. 113 is definitely larger. And then over here we have 2 tenths and we have 2 tenths. The zeros don't matter, right? 21 hundredths is the same thing as 2 tenths. Those are equal. Looking at number 14, we have 3 tenths on the left, but we only have 3 hundredths on the right. So it takes 100 hundredths to make a whole. It takes 10 tenths to make a whole. 3 tenths is definitely larger than 3 100ths. And then over on number 15, you have 1 whole versus 0 wholes. A whole's bigger, right? Round to the nearest whole number. Well, I already did that one for you. The old whole number was 17. So 6 tenths means you're closer to 18 than 17. Remember, this is like a mixed number, right? A decimal is just like a mixed number. 17 and 641 thousandths. Well, 500 thousandths is half. 600 is more than half. Therefore, you're closer to 18 than just 17. Choose the digit that shows this number right here, which is 3 96 thousandths, rounded to the nearest 100. Okay, so that means, are you closer to having 9 hundredths or one more than 9 hundredths? Well, because this first one going bye-bye is a 6, it's closer to having one more than 9 hundredths, and one more than 9 hundredths is 10 hundredths. So that would look like this, 3.10. Write the letter to show where they rounded this number. Well, if they stopped it here, then it has to be the hundredths place. Sorry. If they stopped it there, it has to be the hundredths place. Hundredths is right here. So let me just show you the answers real quick, and then I'll explain. So that has to be hundredths place. This has to be hundreds, right? This has to be ones place. This has to be tenths place, and this has to be tens. Hey, buddy, if you want to come help me out, you can. You're welcome to come over here and help me out. You just got to grab a chair and you can help me out. You know math, right? Okay, so the top one, the way that we're going to figure this out is look at you start here, right? 5 plus 7 is 12. 8 plus 2 is 10 plus 1 is 11. Make sure to keep your decimal. 6 plus 3 plus 1 is 10. 7 plus 1 is 8 plus 1 is 9. And 2 plus nothing is 2. So that's 290 and 12 hundredths. Here we are going to subtract. You can't subtract 3 from 2. All right, son, if you have 2, but you lose 3, what's left?
0.
More than 0, right? Or less than 0. You can't even do it, can you? So we have to borrow from this guy. When we borrow from this guy, it turns into 12. What if I have 12 minus 3?
12 minus 3 is 9.
That's 9. What if I have 6 and lose 9?
Negative.
Negative. That means you can't do it. So now we got to borrow again. So what if I have 16 and lose 9? If I have 16 and lose 9, what's that?
16 and lose 9 is 7.
7. So the answer ends up being 79 hundredths. Very good. Now going down here, you don't have to do the hard math. You can literally just estimate. So if we're just estimating, we could be like, this is 44 and this is 12. What's 44 minus 12? 32. Over here, you could say this is 22 plus 3. 22 plus 3 is 25. Now, what's important about estimating is you do not have to estimate. There's not one answer to estimate, right? Some people would estimate this like this. Other people would say, no, let's just round it to the nearest 10. So it's like 40 minus 10 is 30. 30 is a fine estimation. Okay, so is 32. It depends what you round each number into, but those answers are going to vary. All right, the distance around a park is 308 and 94 hundredths meters. Nikki runs around the park 2 times to catch her dog. How many meters does she run? Explain why your answer is reasonable. Okay, so how many meters she runs, this is how we have to do the math. We have to literally go ahead and add 308.94 plus 308.94. A lot of people get confused like, what do you mean? I have to tell you why it's reasonable. That just means tell them it's reasonable because my estimation is 600. Well, how'd you get that? I'd say it's reasonable because 300 plus 300 is 600, and 617.88 is close to 600. Ray buys a skateboard for $89.98 and a helmet for $44.85 on a tax-free day. The store clerk gives him a discount. So he says, here, let me take $18.50 off. Ray goes, thanks, man. Here's $150. So how much money should he get back? Ladies and gentlemen, you have to do 2 things. You have to add all 3 of those together, and then you have to take 150 and subtract it by that answer. So when you do that, you get $33.67.
Yeah.
And when you add 89.98, 44.85, oh, so why is it reasonable? Because 90 plus 50 is 140. 140 minus 20 is 120, and 150 minus 120 is 30, and $33.67 is close. You don't have to write anything for reasonable, but that's what they're looking for. They want to see your estimation. At Bryan's school, the 2 fastest runners in the 100-yard dash had race times of 12.19 or 12 and 1900 seconds, 12.38 or 12 and 3800 seconds. Estimate how much faster the first place runner was than the second place. And then explain how you find your answer. So here is the actual answer, right? And then as far as estimating, I'd say around 2/10 because this is like 12.2, this is like 12.4, and 12.4 minus 12.2 is 0.2, okay? And then let's end it here before my son drives me crazy. I love you, buddy.
Okay.
We have, we're just gonna round each one. So is it true or is it not true? Is 245 and 6/10 rounded to the ones 246? Yeah. Is 723 and 1400 rounded to the nearest hundreds 720?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
It is not.
Yeah.
Because if you're rounding it to the nearest hundred, it would just be 700.
Oh.
Yeah. So is 1,341 and 4,500 rounded to the nearest tens place 134?
Yeah.
No, son, it is not. Because if you're rounding to the nearest tens place, it would just be 1,340.
Oh.
Is 45 and, all right, so that looks like a comma. It's not a comma. Is 45 and 932 thousandths rounded to the nearest tenths place 45 and 9/10? What do you think?
No.
He's wrong again, folks. It is, yes, 45 and 9/10. That'd be good because you see that the smallest value is the tenths place, and that's accurately rounded to the tenths place. Last one. Let's see if you can get it back here. We have 219 and 934 thousandths, but we're rounding it to nearest hundredths place. Is it 219 and 93 hundredths? What do you think?
Yeah.
He says yes. He's going to end it on a correct answer. All right. I hope this was helpful. I know there's other questions, but I made the test. If you can answer 1 through 26, you are looking great for the actual test that's going to be on Friday. So best of luck to you, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to worry about the other problems. And if you have any questions, bring me your questions tomorrow. We'll have one more day of review, and then we got our big fat test on Friday. All right. Best of luck to you. Thanks for watching.